Hello, everybody, and welcome back to M&J Games. I am Michael. Now, today we're looking at, honestly, one of the best coaster creations I've seen in the game. And I haven't ridden this coaster yet, but I'm just talking about the pure um, scenery and everything around this individual coaster. And some of you might recognize what this is supposed to represent. This is Sheikra at Bush Gardens, and this creator called the um, the Row Q101 says or named this park Sheikra-ish at Bush Gardens Tampa realistic attempt. And basically the description talks about how um, he's trying to make a realistic version of Sheikra and has never been to Bush Gardens, so is basing it off of YouTube videos and pictures and POVs and stuff. And I haven't been either. So for anybody who has, I would love to hear thoughts and feedback on how close this is to the real version. But I mean, as you can just see right away, I mean, this is just every part of this coaster is covered, and I love the tree selection. So it really makes it feel like that tropical-ish feel, or how kind of the Busch Gardens park is kind of set up. And as you can see in the background, we have custom supports that the creator used and made for this coaster. It also looks like he made the coaster twice. Maybe this is a little bit too large of a version. Let's see. I wonder if they've got stats on this. Yeah, so maybe it's just a little bit too large of a version, but this is just a really cool recreation. Um, and yeah, so let's take a look at this. So let's kind of enter where the guests are entering from. Let's get the HUD off the screen. And I mean, that's a great view right away as you see that really large loop. And by looking at that other coaster, it looks like the vertical G's are probably going to be a little bit too high, and I'll kind of see where we can correct that if need be. Wow, you can hear the music. Really love the adding in of music. I haven't really done that much in the game, so I need to do a better job of that. Use the Adobe walls. Really, really good job. And I like how you've got these benches over here where you can sit here and watch the coaster. You've got that maintenance area. That's really well done. I need to take a cue from this. So it looks like, yeah, those are just coaster supports. Okay. That's easy enough to do, is you just make it once and then copy and paste it all the way up. So that is, wow, that's a fantastic job. And then are these custom supported right here? No, so that's part of the original support. So I think the custom supports are on the main lift hill. But as we go down this way, let's turn it back to 12 o'clock. And then I love too, wherever the coaster kind of goes over the path, there's a protective fencing or covering. And so you see the splashdown right there. That is super cool. So I think coaster's about to head this way. Wow, this is super cool. So as you can see, just this coaster and all the scenery and stuff alone takes up 22% on the PS5. So that's pretty amazing. But you've really built a lot more than just the coaster. No other rides, but there's a lot of shops and facilities. You got a lot of buildings over here. So this is really cool. And I love the detail too on this tunnel. I mean, you've got the steps getting down there to where for some reason the coaster valleyed. You've got a lot of detail. This is just really cool. Once again, protective covering to protect the guest. Oh, this is a cool look right here. Man, this is super cool. All right, so let's go ahead and find the coaster. Looks like we got a little backstage area for this food service place. Love that. Anybody who watches my videos knows I love my backstage areas. And maintenance tracks and all sorts of stuff. So let's see. So here's the entrance, Sheikra. And a really nice queue. And I like too how the queue kind of goes right around where the coaster begins. Because I always think it's cool when queues can kind of have, either a good look at the coaster or kind of interacts with the coaster. And very interesting station build up there. I've never seen the station to Sheikra, so I don't know how it looks in real life. But I love this little queue covering too. It's not anything crazy or too costly or anything like that. It's just covering it up a little bit. Only thing here is I might place down um, some kind of fence covering, or not fence covering, sorry, wall piece to kind of cover up the unsightly spots with the path. But I like the little rope that you've chosen to use as kind of the fencing. So we're gonna definitely head in the fast lane. And then obviously you would need some kind of fencing here, but it looks like you've lowered it to 2 meter pass, which kills the counter. So if you're making an actual park, I would not suggest doing this. But really, really cool, because you do see that in a lot of coaster queues as they kind of get more narrow as you're going through a building or something. And so, what's over here? Oh, this is just a, okay. So it looks like you would have, in theory, you'd have some maintenance stuff up here. So as we can kind of see the elevated view of the station, really, really cool. Yeah, very detailed. Like the detail here. I think that looks a little bit weird, but that's just me personally because I don't really use those pieces too often. So let's go ahead and ride this coaster. So we know it's called Sheikra. Let's look at the results. So vertical G's are definitely high, and I think I probably have an idea of why those are a little bit higher, so we can talk about that. Lateral might be a little bit high, but biggest drop, 63 meters. So it's probably a little bit taller than it is in real life because I don't know the exact height. I just know that that would be actually no, that's probably pretty close to the height. I was getting a little confused on the how it's converted to feet, but good speed. Um, it's got one inversion, one airtime count. So I feel like we need to excuse me, we need to ride this one in seat view. Unless if that person's gonna be putting their hands up the whole time, then we'll ride front bumper. All right, so that was Sheikra, and oh, that was a really great ride. I think the only issue is the vertical G's. And let me pause that coaster because I think it's going to happen right there along with the other one. Vertical G's. So yeah, oops, didn't mean to click off that. Um, so you can see that 5.94 right there. You got 4.8, and then you got 6.76 right there. So the thing is, the only reason why the G forces are high on this coaster is because you're going too steep here. You're not giving it enough time to level out. So really, it should be kind of starting to level out here and should gradually kind of level out because then at the bottom it kind of takes a pretty tight turn up, which is what causes the G forces to be that high. Kind of same thing here, and then especially on this one. So that is really the only little bit of constructive criticism is to level out your hills a little bit more, kind of give it more time to level out to where your body can basically come back down to earth in a sense. But yeah, I mean, this is layout is really cool. Like I love this part here where you're going up the lift chain, you can kind of see this web of coaster track a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you probably could have even made that loop larger. So I feel like these coasters are. I've only ridden one in real life, and I've ridden Griffin at Busch Garden, Williamsburg. I mean, they're fun coasters. That first drop is intense and crazy, especially if you sit in the front row. But they're not like super intense overall, because they kind of seem to kind of go very smooth and methodically through the elements instead of like quick and snappy. And I'm sure a lot of that's due to the engineering behind the type of coaster car and stuff. But yeah, I'd love to get your opinion. And let's see. So it looks like we got a little transfer track here, which is nice. You know, only thing I'd say with this is from a realism standpoint, you kind of got to give your coaster space for the part of the track to actually transfer over for the car to go onto it. So all that I would do is, hold on, let me move this. Okay. Oops. Let me try that again. So I'll just shift it back this way. And then you can add this thing on here too. So then it could be like this area would transfer over, and then you could put the coaster on the track. But you got to leave a little bit of space for it to do that. But I do love all the realism aspects that this had. You've got the, I don't know why the security cameras right there necessarily, but you've got security cameras in multiple spots. And I wish like, I really wish they would make those realistic looking cameras for the lift hill and cable boxes and stuff. Like the lights up here, like that little camera there. One thing you can do is you can actually use a box light, and it kind of just gives it more of a look of not being as bulky as that type of camera. Um, but yeah, I mean, looking at the layout, this is fantastic. So let's look at everything at night. So yeah, I mean, not really lit up too much. But you can see enough lights on the lift hill. But other than that, so I mean, yeah, this is definitely a daytime view. But yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, this is take the vertical, put the vertical G's aside. This is one of the best like coaster recreations I've seen in the game. And the custom supports are here. So those, and so the custom supports, you can tell which ones are custom because it's a wider post than the ones that came with the coaster track. And so maybe the only thing I'd say is if you custom supported this here, I would have custom supported the rest of the lift hill. You don't have to custom support the whole ride, but I would have created custom supports here and there. But to each their own. But yeah, I mean, this is really well done. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. As I said, if any of you have been to Busch Gardens, would love to get your opinions on how you think this looks and compares. And as always, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't to remain up to date with the content we release. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.